Hello, how are you doing? I just want to share with you another book that is similar to the last one that I mentioned previously, which was 33 Days to Morning Glory by Father Michael Gaitley. And that was a do-it-yourself type of retreat every day for 33 days, and you end on a big feast day or an important feast of Our Lady. This book that I am currently reading, I'm not done with, but I am currently going through, it's by the same author and a similar method. 33 days, you end on a feast day of Our Lady or something within the church that is celebrated or important, some kind of feast day, but usually for Our Lady. And this one is called 33 Days to Merciful Love. And on the cover, you can see, maybe recognize with the habit and the cross, the crucifix, and the roses is Saint Therese of Lisieux, the French Carmelite saint, and also a doctor of the church. And this book, as I'm reading every day, trying to go through every day and reflect upon every day the past two weeks or so. It is mentioning a lot about Saint Therese of Lisieux. And you may wonder why, or why is it called this title, 33 Days to Merciful Love, or why is she the focus? Why is it not something else or somebody else, or why is it not about Mary or Jesus? Well, it is, of course. It still depicts Our Lady. It still obviously has to do with Jesus. I mean, Merciful Love, that actually is about Jesus and about God and His mercy and His love. So the focus is that, of course. But the saint, Saint Therese, she is known for mercy in the sense that she saw herself as a little soul. If you know anything about this saint, you may have heard of or read the really well-known great work of her autobiography, A Story of a Soul, that was published after her death. And there was a huge devotion for her, mainly because of that book. And over time, people got to know more of her story, since she was, not a well-known person in the Carmelite convent. She was kind of just a regular nun, if you will. She didn't see herself as anything spectacular. But so far, this consecration, this devotion that I'm reading and learning about, it does depict kind of her spirituality in that way, how she sees herself as so little and God as so great, and His mercy so great that He can lift us up in our sorrow, but also in our sinfulness, in our weaknesses, in our tribulations that come about, and how we are so weak, we are so little. And it kind of goes more into that too, of how she is that, she sees herself as that, but that's why God's grace and God's mercy is so profound and so great and generous, because she knows that she's so lowly. So that's kind of the focus so far that I've gotten through and learned about. And I do love this Saint Therese, and her parents are Saint Louis and Saint Zélie Martin. They're also they're saints, as I said, but they were uh, canonized. That's the word. They were canonized as saints together, as a married couple. But another depiction of this book that I have yet to go to, it's further in the book, is about Saint Faustina. And she's not a Carmelite nun. She was a nun, though, but she was a mercy nun in Poland, I believe in the 20s and 30s. And she died right before the outbreak of World War II. And her kind of claim to fame is the divine mercy image, and divine mercy in general, that teaching that Jesus gave to her. And she was like a mystic. She had many visions of Jesus. She had many inspirations. It's kind of overwhelming if you read her book, her diary, Divine Mercy in My Soul. It's very interesting and very rich. But all of this divine mercy also goes to her too, because that was the teaching that she was brought upon by Jesus to kind of proclaim through this image, Jesus, I trust in you, the Sacred Heart image that we know today. and that we venerate today, but also the Chaplet of Divine Mercy, which I find very beautiful and one I really try to go to pray. So those are kind of the two saints that are focused on in this book. The other one, like I mentioned before in that video, was kind of a different saint a week. This one is mostly about Saint Therese and her teachings and her spiritual life, and teaching about that and God's mercy, and also Saint Faustina, as well as Our Lady. You can't forget Our Lady in this. So in the beginning, he did mention the author, Our Lady, and kind of her example, especially, regarding being the mother of God, and yeah, just her faith life, her trust in God's plan, in God's love, and God's mercy. Even though she was a sinless creature, she really is the most profound creature, because we have so much that we can learn from her and cultivate in our own lives, and her humility and her trust. So that's kind of in a nutshell this book, 33 Days to Merciful Love, a do-it-yourself retreat by Father Michael Gaitley. I hope you have some inspiration towards it, or find it interesting or helpful at all in perhaps your journey of faith or learning. And I look forward to finishing this. My consecration feast day I chose will be Our Lady of Mount Carmel, which is July 16th, so a few weeks away. But I look forward to diving more into this topic of merciful love, divine mercy, as well as the saints depicted in here. So thanks for listening and watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.